Hello, welcome everybody. Good afternoon. It's officially noon, so we can say good afternoon now. I hope everyone is able to get out and enjoy the sunshine. It might be our last day of sun for a few days, so we appreciate you spending some time online and with us here. If you can see and hear us, can you jump into the chat? You should see a chat option probably at the top of your screen. Can you jump into the chat? Just give us a thumbs up, a smiley face, something. Oh, good. Thank you, Jill. Let's let us know that you're here. Awesome. Thank you. Wonderful. See, you guys are amazing already. This is great. We're going to give everyone just another minute or two to get into the meeting. Great. Welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday. We're almost through the week. Thanks to everybody letting us know you can see us and you can hear us. All right, thanks, Kyle. Thank you, Marcia. Okay. Well, it is 12:02. I'm sure there'll be more people joining us, so we will go ahead and get started and just let them in as they get here. My name is Alicia Mowry. I am the Director of Public Information for the Delaware Area Career Center, and we're really excited that you're here. This is sort of our first kickoff meeting with our new families to introduce you to being a family at the Delaware Area Career Center and what that means and get all of your questions answered. Just so you know, if you have to jump off early, if your phone rings, if you have to step away, if you want to share this presentation with someone later, we will record it and we will share it out with you at a later date. We'll also post it to our website on our student and parent website hub. So that will be available to you later. We'll also share these slides with you, so don't feel like you have to take notes the whole time. Just sit back and enjoy the presentation. Our counselors know a lot of the questions that you're coming here with. We know that you have lots of questions to ask. We ask that you just absorb the information. If we cover a topic that doesn't totally answer your questions, jump into the chat. We'll be in the background. We'll try to answer your questions as we go. Know that if you have a question that's specific to your child, to your student, and especially one that maybe requires sharing private information, we want you to give us a call. And I'll drop that phone number into the chat. Give us a call and we'll have a one-on-one conversation. But today we'll cover a lot of the questions that most of you will have. So I will turn it over now to our Student Services Supervisor, Ms. Carrie Tresley.
Hello, everyone. As Ms. Mowry said, my name is Carrie Tresley, and I am the Student Services Supervisor here at Delaware Area Career Center. We are very excited to have you here with us today and welcome all of our new families to one of our largest incoming classes at DACC. The incoming class of 740 students just speaks volumes to the need for career technical education in Delaware and Franklin counties, as well as around Central Ohio. But rest assured that even with such a large group of students coming to us, we work hard and we are able to maintain that small school feel. We can do this because the majority of our lab programs accept a maximum of 25 students. These students and their instructors spend 3 hours a day together, and they're able to develop a very close-knit learning community. Students at DACC are in quite capable hands. We are incredibly proud that we are able to boast every year 96 to 98% of our graduates go on to enlist in the military, to enter the workforce, or enroll in college or post-secondary education that's based on the career technical education programming they completed with us here. So as you can see on your screen, the topics that we are covering today, that you can see those topics, and we understand there's a lot of new information, but we hope to be able to orient you just a bit to being a new member of the DACC family. We'll always be here to help and answer any questions that you may have. So our mission at DACC is to empower, prepare, inspire, and connect students. We empower students to take control of their learning. We prepare them with the skills and the knowledge needed to be successful. And we provide students with experiences that challenge and inspire them to reach their academic, their career, and their life goals. So we also help develop them to develop relationships and to network, to connect them with our partners and our business and industry. So this all supports our vision that through their affiliation with DACC, students' lives will be elevated. So as you can see here, our school counselors work with and provide support to students that are based on the lab program in which they are enrolled. And so now I'm going to turn this over to them for a little bit and let each of them introduce themselves. Take a moment to do that.
Hi, welcome. We're so excited to have all of our families here today joining us, and we welcome you to DACC and look forward to working with you and your students in the coming years. So I'm Mrs. Cox. You can see the programs that I oversee. Each of us are divided by programs here, so a little bit different than the homeschools. We divide by programs. So I am Allison Cox, and I'm one of the school counselors here.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Wood, and as you can see, my programs that I work with here, a lot of the technical programs, computer-based programs, engineerings, and I just say that we have a great group of counselors here, and that we all really enjoy career tech, and that's why we're here. So your students are in good hands, and with us as supporting them through their junior and senior year.
All right, and I am Holly Fissel. I'm the other school counselor here at DACC. I work a lot with our healthcare and public service programs here, and yeah, I'm excited to meet all of you guys here in August.
All right, Holly, I think you've got some more information to share with us here. Here we go.
I do. All right, so I'm going to go over the role of the school counselor in the career tech education here at DACC. So the school counselors here, like Mr. Wood mentioned, we have a great team of counselors. We have very similar responsibilities than that of a typical school counselor at DACC. Students see us regularly in the students' classrooms. We support the students and the staff here. We're always making ourselves available to meet the needs of our students and putting our students first. We offer individual student planning. We deliver responsive services in order to help students develop skills and mindsets for academic, career, college, social, emotional development. We collaborate and consult with our school personnel, parents and guardians, community partners and agencies, and with our associate districts, we work really closely with them too. We have relationships with all of our 13 or so partner schools that we work really closely with as well. This is for both half-day and full-day students. We're always working with our partner schools for that. And we lead efforts to help advocate for equitable, safe, inclusive, and positive learning environments for all of our students. We take a really student-centered approach when we're working with our students here at DACC. All right, so I'm also going to go over scheduling. There's an option to be half day or full day, except for if you're in the zoo program, because their timing is opposite of what our other programs are. But for all of our students that are incoming, other than zoo, the half day schedule starts at 7:50 and goes to 10:50. So if you're a half day student, you're going to leave at 10:50, get on a bus and go back to your home school and take classes that way. And if you're going to be a full day student, then you will stay here for academics until 2:20. We are able to get in 4 academic courses and then a lunch as well in that time. So full day students, we sent out a Google form through the email a couple weeks ago. We would like you to fill that out. I believe maybe about a little over half of you have done that so far. Our scheduling isn't we don't have as many options as your typical full day program does, because all of your elective classes are taken here, or is your lab portion really. So every student takes government. It's a full year class, or you can choose the CCP political science 1100 class. Every student will take English 11 or the college credit plus English. And math, we will determine based on what is the next right class for you from your transcript that your counselor had submitted. We also have the option of doing a college credit plus pre-calculus class that encompasses college algebra and college trigonometry for a total of 7 math credits that way as well. And then science next year, we have chemistry, anatomy, and forensics. And what we ask you to do is to choose your top 2. So if you can fill out that form for us, if you have not done so already, really your choices are either the regular government, regular English, or the College Credit Plus English and poli-sci, and then the science is your choice. So our academic space and curricula are a blended model and is really set up for like student flexibility. You can see in the picture there, not all of our classrooms have walls. Certain days we'll have certain classes in the big space learning, and certain days they'll be in the like classrooms doing some testing or lectures or whatever. So students that are most successful in this model tend to be self-starters, have the ability to work independently when they need, and the teachers are always there to help and support students, but really the self-starter students that can work independent typically do better here. So yeah, and our academic teachers here understand the students' area of interest, and they try to teach with that in mind, like with their specific lab as well. The one thing we do want to mention is this is one of our largest incoming full day academic classes. So right now we are on a wait list for full day, and we'll open that up as we have the availability.
Great. You'll find at DACC we're pretty typical compared to the other schools with our grading. I'll reiterate what Ms. Fissel said as far as our teachers. They really do try to come to the students where they're at and support them with their learning, and that also goes with the grading. And obviously they have high standards, but they understand where students are at and struggles they might be going through, and really their goal is to make sure that students learning and getting through the material, even if there are some challenges. So great group of teachers. The grading scale, or what we use here at DACC, is we use Power School. So most of you, with the exception of a few, are used to using Power School. You'll get a specific link to DACC's Power School, though. It will not be the same as your home school's Power School. So be aware of that. Sometimes that is a little bit confusing at the beginning of the year, where people might be logging in using the wrong username or password for the wrong site, but you guys will get that at the scheduling time and be able to set that up, or not scheduling time, when students come in that first couple weeks of August to do the meet and greet and all that type of stuff. So that'll happen then. And then each semester you're going to get grades. So we report grades at semester, not at the end of only at the end of the year. So you get those semester grades. And those are going to be sent every semester, actually every quarter and semester. We send the grades to the home schools. And the important thing to know about the difference between DACC and your home school, since the students are not graduating from us, we do not give transcripts. So all of our grades go onto your home school's transcripts. And that's how those will be finalized. That's how that'll be reported to like colleges and other things that you might need a transcript for. You'll get those directly through the home schools. And as you'll see here, this is our grading scale, pretty typical. One thing that you won't see is weighted grading. We do not, since we don't work with transcripts, we don't do weighted grading, for instance, for our College Credit Plus classes. The home schools, though, all do the weighted grading for the courses. So they handle that on the transcript side. So don't be concerned that if they're taking a college English course or something like that, the home schools do weight those courses based on their protocols. So we make sure that they have the opportunity to handle that on their own. And that all gets taken care of pretty efficiently and effectively. They put our grades on within a few days, usually, of us sending those out onto the transcripts. That's it.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some specific supports that we provide for students here at DACC. Let me get my camera back on here. So just like all comprehensive high schools, we follow all 504 plans and IEPs. The case managers for those programs, for those students. We've got school counselors are manage students' 504 plans. And for full day students with an IEP, we have intervention specialists who oversee and support their goals in academics. And they may also be enrolled in a learning center period during their academic time at DACC. For half day students, we have vocational special education coordinators. You will hear us refer to them as VOCEs if you've not heard that term before. But for half day students, our VOCEs are the case managers that manage their IEPs. So as far as logistics is concerned, to ensure that communication of all students' needs and requirements go smoothly, we hold IEP transition meetings in the spring, and our VOCEs have already scheduled those with all of the homeschools. Those are coming up here in the next month and a half, I believe. And so we make sure that, we have everything all set for everyone to, as they come in, whether they're a full day or a half day student, if they have an IEP. And then our associate schools, our homeschools, will send us 504 plans for students. And so we will receive those in student services, where, as I said, our school counselors are the case managers for the 504 plans. So in addition to that, for our English learners, we have EL services that we provide. We have a family and student liaison who acts as a liaison, right, between the school and assists students during the day and helps with families in different kinds of communications or things that they may need to help bridge them with the school and things that are happening here. Let's see. So, and as I was just saying, our vocational special education coordinators, right, or our VOCEs, they're an integral part of our student services team. So they provide the lab support to students who receive special education services through an IEP and attend DACC half day or full day. So if a student has an IEP, their case manager, and their full day, their case manager will be an intervention specialist. If they are half day, their case manager will be a VOCE. However, the VOCEs are the specialists who provide support for the lab program. So similar to the school counselors, VOCEs are assigned to work with students enrolled in specific lab programs. So you can see that the current designations for Ms. Gossett, Ms. Robinette, and Ms. Shoemaker.
Excuse me, Carrie, can you update your screen to show those pictures?
According to what I have, I have
Okay.
the three VOCEs pictures.
Okay, maybe I'm just seeing it wrong.
Yes,
Okay.
I can see them.
Okay.
Okay. So as I was saying, similar to the school counselors, the VOCEs are assigned to work with students who are enrolled in a specific lab. And you can see those assignments, those designations for Ms. Gossett, Ms. Robinette, and Ms. Shoemaker as they are scheduled this year. And those are our three VOCEs that we have here at DACC. So in addition to the support that school counselors and VOCEs, intervention specialists, all of those good folks provide to DACC students, we're also proud to be in our 8th year of implementing behavioral health services within our school. So the pillars of this programming include linkage and referral. So it's linkage of students and families to community resources and supports that are based on identified needs here. And screening and intervention, which is identifying the presenting problem or concern, as well as the level of care that is needed in that moment or to be pursued for the student. For wellness, we're working with students or groups of students even to proactively increase overall student wellness. And then collaboration and consultation piece is to work with our school personnel to assist with perhaps some professional development or just collaboration in general in providing a nurturing atmosphere within the school setting. So you can see that Ms. Popadek right now is currently working with us as one of our behavioral health professionals. And next, Mrs. Cox is going to review graduation requirements and information.
Before we move on, can you answer a question for me? Are parents part of the IEP meetings for half-day students, or is it just the BOCES and the home district IEP teacher?
I believe the parents are invited. It's their spring amendment meetings. So I believe the school districts reach out and invite the parents to be a part of that as well.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and speak about graduation information for the next few slides. So we get this question a lot, so some important information. Students still will be graduating even though they have chosen to attend DACC for a program, and even if they're coming full day for their academics. All students will still graduate from their associate home high school that they currently attend. So we work very closely with the counselors at our home schools to make sure that students are meeting all of their graduation requirements, staying on track with all of their credits, meeting all of the SEAL and competency requirements. So we are in constant contact with the counselors at our home school to ensure that students are on track and successfully completing everything needed for graduation. Here at DACC, they're completing their program. So as long as they successfully pass their junior and senior level of their program, they are considered completers of their DACC program. So students at DACC at the end of their senior year actually get to attend 2 ceremonies. They will get to attend a graduation ceremony at their home school where they get their diploma for graduating high school. And they also are invited to attend what we call our completion ceremony. It is held very much like similar to a graduation ceremony, and students sit together by labs, and at our ceremony they receive their certificate of completion for their program. As Mr. Wood spoke earlier about, all of our classes that students take at DACC, whether it be their labs or their academic classes as well, are sent back to the home schools. Those grades are added to their homeschool transcript. And so we do not issue separate transcripts at DACC. So a lot of times we'll get students that have graduated a couple years ago and will reach out to us for maybe job purposes or something like that and ask for their DACC transcript. All classes that students take at DACC, lab and academic classes, will be showing on their official homeschool transcript. Okay, so the next couple of slides are devoted to the new graduation requirements, which start with this year's senior class. So your students, your children are underneath the new graduation requirements. Hopefully this is not the first time you're seeing this. These have been out for a little bit of time, and hopefully the homeschools have gone over some of this information. But basically there are 3 steps in order to meet graduation requirements. The first step is covering the basics, which are the minimum requirements, the academic requirements set by your home schools. The state requires at least 20 credits to graduate. All of our home schools fall somewhere within the 20 to 22, 23 credit requirements. So again, we have a lot of districts that we work with. We cover all of the credits to make sure that your student is on track with the credits that your district is requiring that they meet in order to graduate. So that is step 1, is getting all of the needed credits in order to graduate. Step 2 is showing competency. So what this means is based on the end of course test that students have to sit for Algebra 1 and English 2, so their 10th grade English class. Students have to score at least a 684 on both of those tests in order to show competency. So they will test in Algebra 1, typically whenever they finish the Algebra 1 course, so whether that's freshman or sophomore year, and then at the end of sophomore year, after they finish English 10, they will take another test in that subject as well. So the state is requiring a score of a 684 in order to show competency. So if a student does not meet the competency score, they have to retest at least once. Some students will continue to test in order to get that score. But if they, after at least 2 attempts, have not gotten the score needed, then you can see below the state has laid out 3 other potential options that students can meet in order to show competency. The third criteria in order to graduate is showing what the state calls readiness. So this is where the term SEALs come into play. So a SEAL is basically a sticker that will be added to the student's diploma or an insert in the diploma. And you can see all the different options that students can earn a SEAL through. So students have to earn at least 2 SEALs in order to graduate. You can see a list. The top part of that list is an Ohio SEAL. So the state has laid out the guidelines in order to meet those. Some are based on test scores. Some are based on some things we do here at the Career Center that we'll talk about. Some are through the work they've done all the way through high school if they're on track to earn an honors diploma. So lots of different options. The 3 at the bottom, the community service, fine and performing arts, and student engagement SEAL, those are set at the local level. So each school district has their own criteria of what a student needs to do in order to earn a local SEAL. So again, from that list, they have to earn at least 2 in order to be eligible for graduation. And so some ways that DACC helps students earn the SEALs. The first one is an industry recognized credential SEAL. Many of our labs do give the option to potentially earn 12 points of industry credentials. So that would be based on things they're learning in lab, sitting for testing that correlates with the things they're learning in lab, as long as their lab offers that. And as long as by the end they get a total of 12 points for those credentials, that would be one option to help them earn the industry recognized credential SEAL. Now, not all of our labs currently have a SEAL, and some of our labs have SEALs that they test, like such as our cosmetology, they actually test after graduation. So we always say that that is an extra SEAL that is great if they earn it, but we like to try to have them set with 2 other SEAL options in case either 1, it's not offered, or 2, the student does not meet the requirements testing, or the test is offered after graduation. The next SEAL that we help students earn is the technology SEAL. So a lot of the programs that Mr. Wood has, such as digital design, cybersecurity or application development, engineering technician, and a robotics engineering program, have some pathways in order to earn the technology SEAL. So they have a capstone or alternate project that they do, and then as long as a student receives a C or higher each semester of junior and senior year, the students are on track to earn their technology SEAL. The next option is an Ohio Means Jobs Readiness SEAL. There are some different ways you can go about getting this, but basically students that are employed through high school, sometimes it's correlated with a job they may be working through work-based learning here at DACC through their lab, and other times it's a different, not related to their lab program. But we do have the opportunity to have students sign off on paperwork where their employer signs, and then they have 2 mentors, whether that be teachers or other community members. They're able to get their SEAL readiness, Ohio Means Job readiness packet signed off, showing that they have met that criteria. So that is one that we work closely with students to help them earn. And then the final one would be the Ohio Honors SEAL. There's a lot of different honors diplomas that students are able to get. They are only able to receive 1 type of honors diploma. So we help screen senior year whether students are on track to get the career tech honors diploma, or if they opt for the academic honors diploma. There's a lot of different options with that one that some of our students are able to receive.
Great. We're moving on to College Credit Plus, and DACC is a great supporter and proponent of College Credit Plus. That's kind of our honors type of classes that we have for academics, and I'm going to focus on the academic classes that get College Credit Plus right now. We do not do advanced placement classes. All of our those type of classes are all College Credit Plus, and you're probably pretty familiar with College Credit Plus. You get dual enrollment both here and the university that the courses are through. The great thing is about College Credit Plus, as you're aware, is it is free. So students get to take the courses for free. They get their books for free. Everything's covered on the courses that qualify, which most courses do. The only time where those could be paid for is when a student fails a course. The great thing is, fortunately, here at DACC, the students that are taking the courses are prepared to take the courses. We have our teachers teaching the courses in our building, so that's a great thing. They're not web-based courses. They're not courses delivered by a professor off-site. They're courses that are presented directly in person by our teachers. So students get to have that person every day in class. So that's the great thing. Going through some of the requirements to do College Credit Plus, and we're going to be reviewing your students' grade cards and transcripts as we go through the spring. We have a lot of students that requested College Credit Plus. Sometimes not everybody qualifies. Each university has their own qualifications. Generally, right now, that's like a 3.0 that is needed for College Credit Plus, but those could be adjusted this spring, depending on what the universities say. But I would recommend that you and your student look at their GPA if they are interested in College Credit Plus, and that they make sure that they finish up strong here in this second semester of their sophomore year, to make sure they do the best possible to be sure they qualify. Some other qualifications are the intent to participate. When you and your student complete their online scheduling form, the nice thing is we have that embedded into that scheduling form. So for their coming into their junior year here, they do not need to do a separate intent to participate form. So you are completing it while you're doing the scheduling form. So that is a good news, to not have an extra piece of paper. Technically, that's due by April 1st. So if your student's interested in doing college courses, then they should do that intent to participate and that scheduling form by April 1st, which is only about a week or so away. So getting that scheduling form done soon is really important. Another step that we'll start letting people know that they need to do this and how to do this is that if your student's doing a College Credit Plus course such as English 1100 or Political Science 1100 through Columbus State, they need to complete the university application. We can go ahead and possibly put that link into the chat. It's a super simple application for Columbus State. You just go to their website. There's a pink apply button at the top of the website, and you click that apply button and do the College Credit Plus application. It generally takes about 20 minutes. And you guys should, if you're helping your student do the application, it should be used with their email address, their personal email address, not a school email address. And that way that they have that piece done. They'll get something called a Cougar ID a few days after they apply typically, and that'll be along with an acceptance. And then we'll need to start collecting those IDs, those Cougar IDs, as the spring goes. If you have those already, you could go ahead and send those to us. And then for the University of Findlay, on that side of things, they handle the application with the students at the start of the school year. So for that, for those math courses, Math 138 and 139, which are college algebra and trigonometry, essentially pre-calculus, the teacher will help them with their application in August. So there's nothing else to do for Findlay at that time. After we are going into the spring here and rolling with College Credit Plus, like with everybody scheduled, with people doing their applications, we'll also have some additional paperwork that needs to be done as well. Some of that is okay to wait till August probably is to get done, but we'll send it out. And if we could get that back this spring, it'll make sure we don't have to do that when we return in August. So as I've kind of already mentioned a little bit, the options here at DACC for juniors, we have the English 1100 and the Political Science 1100, which takes care of the students' government courses. Both of those are semester courses, and they are offered the English in the fall and the Political Science in the spring. The Math 138 and 139 pre-calculus courses are offered again fall and spring. And and those again are through the University of Finley. You see the courses that are offered for senior year. There's quite a few there, and a few different ones, including calculus and stats, U.S. history and chemistry. One thing that quite a few of our students also do, and some of your students may already be participating in this, is that they take additional classes on their own time. So if they want to take a psychology class, if they want to take an additional computer science class, if they want to take, really, there's a very wide range of courses that they might want to take, like microeconomics, things like that. They can take those on their own time. Remember, there is a set amount of credits a student can get in a year. And so they don't want to go over the 30 credit hours between high school and college. So if you think your student's taking additional courses beyond what they're doing at DACC, that might be a conversation for your homeschool or for us to make sure that you don't go over those 30 hours. If you do go over the 30 hours, the big thing is that you have to pay for the courses. So you can still take additional courses. It's just that you have to pay for those. You'll see this link at the bottom. This goes to our website. If you go to our website, you can find this as well. And it will tell you more about College Credit Plus. Take a look at that. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to us here at DACC, or you can speak to your homeschool counselor and get those questions answered. But it's a great opportunity. I do find that our students that are taking those college courses now here at DACC or at their homeschool, they're really preparing themselves to go into college and feel more comfortable with the college courses. Having a teacher that you know that cares for you and wants the best for you here in high school when you're taking a college class really helps grades and helps get questions answered when there's problems. So it's a good time to take a risk if you feel your students ready for that, to take a college course knowing that they're going to have a little bit of extra support. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to go over something called our C tags, I tags, and our articulation agreements. Many of our different lab programs come with one of these type of agreements that we have with several different colleges. So it's pretty much clear as mud. So I'll try to go through it and make it as clear as possible. So an articulation agreement is recognized as a seamless curriculum pathway from high school to an associate's degree, certification program, or apprenticeship program. So right now we have articulation agreements with Columbus State, Hocking College, and UNO. So students must receive a C or higher in the CTE course at the semester for whatever that articulation is for specifically. For example, I work a lot with our health programs, and so maybe it's like medical terminology. So a student would have to get a C or higher, for example, in the medical terminology portion when the teacher is teaching that, to be able to get the articulated credit at one of those schools. They would have to apply to that college, meet the entrance requirements and the placement testing, and then they have to enroll with that program within 18 months after graduating when it's Columbus State, and Hocking is within a year after graduation. And again, that's just an example, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense there. And then our career technical assurance guidelines are C tags, and now they're being called I tags. They can transfer to any public institution in the state of Ohio that offers the same coursework. So again, that's C or better in the coursework at the semester. They have to pass the aligned web exam, which students will take a couple different times throughout the school year. And then the deadline is they have 3 years within from high school graduation to ask and request for that C tag to be given to them. So we've put in an additional link in here too to kind of make it make a little bit more sense. You can kind of put in what program you are going into and what the articulation agreement is, or how those transfer from high school to the college credits. And that's something that we go over. This really isn't until the end of your senior year, but going along with all of the other college credits, we like to let you know that a lot of our programs do offer this as a benefit to our students. So just something to know ahead of time for you.
So that really concludes what we have to share with you. And we would like to thank you for joining us today. Hopefully, we've covered many of the questions that you had, but we'd be happy to hang out for a couple of minutes to respond to anything that you would want to put into the chat.
Ms. Tresley, I have a couple questions about C-tags. Have they ever been accepted in out-of-state schools?
I can answer that.
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
The basic answer is that's an Ohio program, so it's not something that would be, I think, even offered at a out-of-state school that they would take those. So not that I know of. I have not heard of that since it's an Ohio only program.
And then another follow-up question about C-tags. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. Someone wanted to know where they can find out which C-tags are associated with each program. On our website, there are fact sheets about each program, and on those fact sheets, it lists the C-tags associated with each program. And then there's an econ requirement for state graduation with CCP. They need semester of econ. Is that a CCP offering at DACC senior year?
Yes, I just answered that one in the chat. So yes, that is an option for senior year that we do. Our government class, if they're full day with us during junior year, our government class does not include the financial literacy economics piece. So that is a class that all of our seniors take senior year if they have not had it already coming into us.
Yeah, but it is not college credit plus.
No.
Though.
Is not college credit
It's not
plus,
college
correct.
credit plus. And I would say that that's going to be if you wanted a college credit plus option. We do have students that take things like microeconomics and things like that at Columbus State, but that needs to be approved that it's going to qualify under the new rules at your particular homeschool. So making sure they're going to approve that course if you do want to go to the college credit plus route, which, like, again, we have several students that do that. And but we don't approve that. That has to be approved at the homeschools. If they're a full day student, we'll be the ones that are paying for it and being the ones helping, sign up for that course. But we don't want to approve an incorrect course.
All right, well, we'll hang on and answer a few more questions. Before everybody jumps off, let me ask real quick, and this is going to fill up the chat. So counselors, take a look at these two questions that came in. If this was helpful to you, give us a thumbs up, a smiley face, something to let us know that we've answered your questions, that we should keep doing this in future years for future families. We appreciate your feedback, and so that we know how we can keep improving this for our future families. And I'm just copying these questions so we don't lose them. Wonderful. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad that everyone's finding this helpful. What percentage of students choose full day versus half day? Does anyone have that off the top of their head?
I think that kind of depends year to year.
All right, 40% full day.
I feel like it's actually like 30%,
Somewhere
maybe.
in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that range, 30 to 40%.
Okay. And then the two questions that I accidentally buried. If a student needs to be schooled at a different school district, what would be the procedure for transfer? Let's see. My question is based on if the student needs to relocate when enrolled with DACC, and their homeschool. So if they transfer from one homeschool to another homeschool while they're here with us, is there anything they need to do with us?
So-
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Holly.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it depends if they're transferring to a district that already feeds into DACC. So if they are relocating to another one of our districts, homeschools in Delaware County, or Thomas Worthington, or the Worthington schools, then basically they just notify us and they get enrolled in their new district. If they're transferring to a district outside of DACC, then we work with the student and the career center that district feeds into to check and see if there's room within that program, or if we need to look at transferring to that career center, or if they're able to stay enrolled at DACC. So it kind of depends on the situation, the timeline of when the student moves, all of those things.
Yeah, I would say if there is a likelihood of that, then reach out to the school counselor that is over that lab, and send an email, and we can make sure that you're prepared for that.
All right. A question of how many periods would I have at my home school if I'm a half day student here?
Is just getting ready to respond to that one. So it really depends on your district. Most of our students have about 3 periods. Our Worthington juniors have more just because of the time that they just changed to. So usually 3, sometimes 4.
And occasionally students then can do an additional online course or something like that if they would choose to as well.
And then talk to me about intervention teachers. Are they present every day in the academic classrooms to assist with accommodations?
Yes, in our English and math classes, we have co-taught English and math classes.
Wonderful. All right, I think those are the questions that we've had come in so far.
Feel free to stay on, and we can stay on for a little bit to answer.
Can you clarify busing for homeschool families? For the zoo, all students, no matter what school you belong to, the zoo students have to provide their own transportation back and forth. But to main campus, are there any busing options?
For homeschooled students?
Yes.
They would have to check with their district of residence to see all of our districts provide the transportation. DACC does not. So all of our districts provide transportation. So you would want to reach out to the district that you live in to see what their policy is on that.
But we do not offer transportation to the zoo. There's no bus
No.
here that goes to the zoo.
Let's see. How do we get the 504 transferred to DACC, or does their high school do that?
Typically, the high schools do that. Typically, the high schools will send us a copy towards the end of the year. We request that they send those documents over to us. It's always a good idea to double check and make sure that we have received that information.
Don't check until August.
Yeah, we won't. I mean, yes, we won't have them until it'll happen throughout the summer. So yes, in August, when their schedule is set, you know who their teachers are. It's always a good idea to reach out and just make sure that that we have that paperwork from the homeschools.
Let's see. And then if a student chooses a half day as a junior, what are their options for senior year? Can they change that going into their senior year?
Yes, they can do that.
And can you talk about lunch? How do students work lunch into that day if they're half day?
That's
Half day student.
That's done by the homeschools, so they will eat lunch at their homeschool, and they take care of that and make sure that they get lunch.
All right. Just watching for more things. The zoology program, I'm going to link the hours of that program in our chat, so you can see the exact times. It doesn't exactly follow the DACC's schedule.
There was a question about the seal tracking, and yeah, we work closely with our homeschools. We have shared spreadsheets between the 3 of us with our homeschools so that we kind of know, because we only have access to so much of their information. So they do a good job of telling us if students have things that we can't get in to see, if it's not with the state testing seal. Some parents choose to track the seal requirements, but it is not a requirement for parents to do that.
I would say it's a good idea though for you to check and make sure, because obviously come senior year, you want to make sure your child's on track with the seals. Most of our homeschools do have a program. A lot of them are using School Links now. And within School Links, students can get in there and see their their transcript, and also they're starting to try to track seals and those kind of things through there. So I would definitely make sure you're in the loop of what your child has earned so far at this point and what they still need in order to graduate.
There's a question as well about the VOCE availability. Like going back to the slide that Carrie had showed, each of the VOCEs are assigned with one of us. And so they're available to work with students either in their lab, or students can choose to come down here and work with them individually as well, or with a group as well. I don't know if that answers it, but they're not assigned to a learning center. They're actually in student services here with us.
And then a question about, is lunch considered an actual period when they're scheduling and figuring out their schedules? Lunch considered a period?
At their
full
home
day
school?
Oh, sorry.
No,
For
you're
our
fine.
full day students, yes. For our full day students, they get 4 academic periods plus a lunch. All of our seniors eat at the same time, and all of our juniors eat at the same time. So it is a scheduled period for them. They all have the same lunch period. At the homeschools, some of them work different ways. Some of them do not actually give them a set period for that. They come into the school, they eat before they go on to their next class. So that would be a homeschool question if it's a half day student.
It is not a normal length
Right.
period, though. It is only 30 minutes.
But travel is considered a period. So there was a question about the difference between being a full day student and a half day student. So they do get one more period in their day if they stay on campus. So there was a question about our bell schedule. There's 4 periods if they're on campus, 3 if they go back to their school.
And somebody is correct. There are periods. It does look like we have more periods, but it's just the timing. There's some that are doubled up, and so we really don't have as many as it shows. Basically.
And the difference too is we don't have like bells between classes. So like if a class ends at 8:45, the next one starts at 8:45. You don't really have time in between. That's how we're able to get those classes offered. So.
And then is there a study hall time?
So
We do
for
not have
students, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so for students who have IEPs, 504s, or if they're taking a college credit plus class, we have the option for a learning center. Unfortunately, our staff is quite a bit smaller than a traditional high school, so we do not offer study halls in our space. We don't have a study hall place for, but if you meet one of those criteria, then there is an option for a learning center.
Okay, I think we have time for just 1 or 2 more questions. This is a good one. What about a day where their homeschool is off, but DACC is in session?
We always get those questions. Yes, so that's a good question. We provide the calendar. We try to have students here on our days, on our scheduled days. Typically, the districts do still run transportation for our students on days that they are scheduled to be off. Not like on snow days or something where it's not scheduled, but typically if it is a scheduled day off at the homeschool, most of the homeschools will provide transportation. It may look a little bit different of where they need to get to catch the bus. So that's kind of a homeschool question. If there is a problem with transportation isn't running and the student can't get here that day, they would need to call the attendance office and let us know.
And I'll say that a lot of our students that are half day that don't necessarily have to be here because their homeschool's off or something, they still get here. They want to be at DACC. They don't want to miss the class. So they find a way, either whether it's getting a ride here by somebody, a parent, a friend, or by the bus.
And the school calendar is being approved at the board meeting tonight. So you will get that in your inbox here in just a couple of days, so you can start comparing that to your homeschool calendar for next year.
I just saw a question about snow days. So we are our own district. So we close based on our superintendent's discretion. We don't follow any other particular schools. So I don't know if that helps to fully answer or not.
We will call you, we will text you, we
Yes,
will email you.
you'll know.
Based on how you sign up to get information. But if your homeschool is closed, we cover all of Delaware County. So if your area is closed because it's not safe, but we're still open, it is an excused absence as long as we have a parent note that your child is staying home. We don't want anyone out on the roads when it's not safe. All right. This is not the last you'll hear from us. You'll be getting more emails, more information. There is a principals information session coming up in another month, similar to this one. So make sure you sign up for that and jump on there. We are available to you. We are a resource to you. We want to help you ease into this. Starting a new school district is intimidating and scary for some. So reach out at any point in time. Thank you, counselors, for sharing everything that you know and putting all this together for our families. We appreciate you, and you'll continue to serve these families and help them as they get started for the next couple of years.
Absolutely. Yeah, we look forward to it.
Yes, looking forward to meeting you guys.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you.